how's it going out there, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Cash, and this is Weekly Recap. Let's talk about Weekly Recap real quick. What is it? What am I doing here? Weekly Recap is just me recapping 1 week of operating a semi-truck as an owner-operator leased onto an 80/20 carrier in the United States. I don't talk about my carrier. I like my carrier. Been here about 4 years now, and a little time before that, left, came back. So about 5, almost 6 years total now. But I don't talk about them. Find a carrier that works for you. Be the main thing, because everybody has such a different experience. That's just how I look at it. So I have a fuel efficient operation. I have a 2016 Cascadia. I got videos about it. I got a whole playlist about it. If you go to my channel, go to playlist. There's one in there. It's like 2016 Cascadia Evolution I. Yeah, I've kind of put a few repair videos in there and a couple videos just talking about when I got the truck, like the specs of the truck and all of that. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. If you like these type of videos, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you make it to the end of the video, give me the like button. And other than that, let's get to it. So I live in Minnesota. I like to go Minnesota out and back is my game plan. Rinse, repeat. It's just the way I like to do it. I'm not a road warrior anymore. God bless you guys that stay out for a long time, but I'm not that guy anymore. I just don't got it in me. I'll be honest with you. I like to go out, make some money, come back. This is how it is. So I started off my week in Minnesota. Now, if you're watching this in the future, I will tell you right now, give me the thumbs up in the future. And also, this week is from the end of October 2023. So that's why the fuel costs are what they are. That's why the rates are what they are. I know some people like to watch my videos way in the future and then go, "How was you getting fuel for $2 a gallon?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it was during that was during that pandemic thing we had going on. But all right, let's talk about it. So I had a load out of Minnesota and I was sitting at the house. They called me with this load, said, "Hey, would you go to South Carolina for $4,000?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I would." Okay. Here lately, I've been trying to keep these runs a little shorter. Normally, I would say I do loads that are like 1,000 to 15, maybe even 17, 1,800 miles out and back. But with the backhaul rates being what they are, I've been trying to tighten and get those a little closer. So I've really been trying to stay in that like 1,000, 1,200 mile range, because the thing of it is, from Minnesota, if you're going to go 1,700 miles, chances are you're going down into Florida. And with backhaul rates being what they are these days, I'm trying to stay out of areas like that. And that was kind of why I was questioning this South Carolina a little bit, because South Carolina has not been good to me the last couple times I've been to South Carolina as far as rates on backhauls. And this time was no different. Okay. So I took the load down. It was a frozen food load, 35,000 pounds, and it paid $4,000. And it was 90 empty miles to go get it. It was 1,313 on the loaded miles, 1,313 on the loaded, for 1,403 total miles going out. So I don't know, what is that, like 3 something a mile? Did okay on that. Got down to South Carolina and had a load ready to go and booked for when I dropped this. Now this load, um, they wanted it to be a 3-day run, but I actually called the place I was delivering. It wasn't like a big major grocery warehouse. It was actually a food bank. And I called them and they said, "Yes, we're first come, first serve. Show up when you can." So the appointment didn't really mean nothing. So I actually got this load done in 2 days. Yes, got that loaded, churned it, and then got up the next morning, churned it again, got unloaded at the very end of that day. And I had a load scheduled for the next morning, and it was like not a bad load. It was like $1,000 to go to Atlanta. And the problem with it was they canceled it on me last minute. So now I'm sitting in South Carolina, like way out on the coast, like Charleston, and I got no load. And it's Friday at this point. So Not a good spot to be. Like they never found a load that day. Finally, they got a load for me, and you let me know. I mean, this is dollar mile freight here, but I took a load. It was a dry load. It weighed 12,000 pounds, and it was 26 empty miles to go get it, and it was coming all the way back to Minnesota, and that's why I took it. So I took that load coming all the way back to Minnesota just because I knew if I could get back to Minnesota that I would, be able to reload out with something good. So unfortunately, that's just the way it is. That's not what I wanted to do, but that's what I did. So, hey, if you want to hate on that for, being dollar a mile freight, hate on it. I don't care. Uh, I've been running business and trucking for a long time now. Sometimes you got to eat that, ride. It's just the way it is. So I was surprised they found a load straight back to Minnesota. I was glad of that. And that's why I took it mainly. So that load was a dry load. It weighed 12,000 pounds. Now, it was funny. The broker said it was a partial load. So I said, okay, so I can find another partial load and put on there. And he says, oh, no, it'll be a sealed trailer. And I explained to him, that's not a partial load. Okay, a partial load means I can put another load on there with it. You just have a small load. That's what he said. And so I was like, I had to explain it to him. But anyway, that load, 26 empty miles to go get it, 1293 loaded miles, and for 1319 all miles, and it paid 1,500 bucks. Yes. So there we are. And now I can pay cost for a dollar, dollar something a mile. That's about my cost. But basically, yeah, I trucked all weekend for no profit. Basically, I got back to Minnesota and I took a load out of Minnesota going back down to North Mississippi, like the Memphis area. And that load was Minnesota to Mississippi, 60-degree protect from freeze load. I don't even get it. It wasn't even scheduled to be cold that weekend. I guess some companies just say from this time of year to this time of year we run protect from freeze. But I'm not sure that reefer unit kicked on one time the whole ride down. It was 60 degrees, 40,000 pounds, 33 empty miles to go get it, 864 loaded miles for a total of 897 miles. And that load paid $2,700. So there you go. That was the week. That was a lot of running. South Carolina, Minnesota to South Carolina back to Minnesota, Minnesota down to Mississippi. Wow, that was way more running than I like to do in a week. I'll be honest with you. So let's talk about the numbers on the week here. $8,200 total gross revenue. My cut, my 80% of that is $6,560. And let's go over the miles of it. Whoa, here we go. 3,619 all miles. That's not what I want to do anymore. That's not me. I had 149 empty miles in there, 3,470 loaded miles. Whoa, 4% deadhead, pretty easy deadhead there. And let's go over the mile rate on this. So 227 all miles paid $2.27 a mile. All miles paid me my 80%, $1.82 a mile. So it is what it is. And that is $2.36 a mile loaded miles. This is what it is. Just what it is. Overall, not a bad week. I mean, a lot of running, a lot of work, a lot of miles, but still come out pretty decent. Let's go over the variable cost of the week. $1,735 I spent in diesel. I spent $174 on reefer fuel. I spent $53 on DEF fluid. I spent $78 on tolls. I spent $28 on scales. Whew, that's a lot of variables. $2,068 total variable cost there. So let's bring over my $6,560, my 80%. And let's see here, minus the $2,068 in variable cost. That leaves me $4,492 to do what I have to do with. I pushed $500 of that to the maintenance account. And that leaves me $3,992 left to do what I have to do with. So, hard week, long week, but hey, almost $4,000 left over. So, earning that money these days, but it's still a pretty good week. I'll take it. I'll take that because, hard work is where it's at in trucking. I hate to say it, but it kind of is. I mean, somebody's got to do the hard work. If you're the one doing the hard work, I hope you're getting paid to do the hard work and not giving it to, everybody else, because that's when trucking becomes painful, in my opinion. It's when you're the one that does all the damn hard work and you get the least cut of the money. So, hopefully, hopefully you're getting a good deal out in trucking because you need to. It's just trucking is tough, and I hope you're making money. But that's it. That's my week. I got nothing to hide. I got nothing to be lying to you about. That's just what it was. That's the market we're in. If you disagree with the dollar a mile load, hey, I guess you disagree with me hauling a dollar a mile load. Um, you know, in my opinion, when you're in that situation, you either grab something and move or you deadhead away. Okay. And it being a Friday, deadheading away was a tough option for me because where am I going to deadhead to that had freight that was paying something? The East Coast was all junk. I mean, I probably would have had to come back to like Kentucky, Chicago area to get back to something decent. So, at that point, it was my decision to just grab something and leave with it because they tried to give me this other option and it wasn't a bad option, but it was like $2 a mile freight to go into more $2 a mile freight. And at that rate, I'm like, well, we'd be just as good just to go back to Minnesota and get a reload. So that was why I made that choice. And, to me, most of the time I would deadhead out of a situation like that. I would just eat the cost and go deadhead out. But on a Friday, you got to be careful about your deadheading out on a Friday because Saturday and Sunday loads are far and few between. You could kill a whole weekend doing that. So, um, you know, I took the option to basically cover cost and go back to a good market for me. So that's why I make those decisions. They're not always easy, but that's the logic behind it. I'm not trying to justify it to anybody. That's just me telling you why I did what I did. And that's it, folks. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you could, smash that like button if you made it this far. But think about becoming a subscriber and check out all those links down in the description below. I appreciate everybody for subscribing. We're close to 23,000. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Take care of each other out there. And remember, people are more important than trucking. Quick, I just want to remind everybody about the Mudflap app. If you're not using Mudflap, check it out, download it. It should be part of your fueling program. It's a free app. Go download it from the Apple or Android store. You sign up using credit card or bank account. No credit checks, nothing like that. No fuel card needed. Get yourself huge discounts on fuel. I buy about half of my fuel through it right now. It's an amazing free app. It's 100% legit. Sign up using my promo code there, and I'll get $10 in free fuel. You'll get $10 in free fuel. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.